Alright, so it begins. Happy Friday, everybody. What I'm doing here is kind of a Simon of London-esque video. A blend that he makes is London Fog, and I'm also doing the same view as Simon does. Now he makes a blend known as London Fog, and after speaking with him a while back, I made some, and according to him, he uses approximately 60% Virginia Woods, 40% Orlik Golden Slice, blends those together, and enjoys that smoke. So I had some Virginia Woods, but I only had a small amount, which actually ended up being okay, because what I ended up making was a version of London Fog, but it's approximately 75% Luxury Navy Flake from Peter Stokkebye. So that's my vapor instead of Orlik Golden Sliced. And I use about 75% Luxury Navy Flake to 25% Virginia Woods. Virginia Woods is gone. So the components of Virginia Woods, and this is more of an experiment than anything, are red Virginias, stowed Virginias, and bright Virginias. So for bright Virginia replacement, I'm just going to use the Luxury Navy Flake, use a little bit extra of that. There's plenty of brights in this. It's a very bright flake. But then I purchased some Sutla 515 RC Red Cake, 2 ounces, and some Sutla 507S Stoved Black Virginia to try to substitute for the Virginia Woods. So what I've got here is I've got an ounce total right here of 515 Red Cake, and I've got an ounce total right here of the Stoved. Now I've separated the ounce in half, and then I took 1/2 and I separated it into a quarter. Okay, so each quarter, being that there's 28 grams in an ounce, half an ounce is going to be 14, and then each quarter is going to be 7. Well, all I want to make right now is, and here's my London Fog jar. I've got just the tiniest bit left in there, but and what I want to make total is a 1 ounce batch right now, just so I have room to adjust and add if need be. So what I want to do is I want to take a half of a 7 gram little mound here, half of this, so it'll be roughly 3.5 grams, half of this, which will be roughly 3.5 grams, and then I want 7 flakes of the Luxury Navy Flake. After weighing 1 flake of the Navy Flake, on average they weigh approximately 3 grams. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus. I have 7 plus. I might add just a little bit more because some of the flakes were kind of not completely full flakes. So I had just a little bit more to make. So we're talking roughly 7 full flakes of Navy Flake, which is going to be 21 grams. And then you're talking 3.5 grams. So let's just separate that out. This is just rough because I don't have a digital scale. Let's do 3.5 grams of the red cake and 3.5 grams of the Stoved. Now the Stoved is kind of a different cut than. Sorry if you can't see, but it's a really chunky cut. I mean, there's big pieces, so I'm going to kind of go through and chunk it up, or break it down just a little bit more. So in effect, I'm going to have 3.5 ounces of red cake, red Virginia, 3.5 ounces of stowed Virginia, totaling 7 ounces, and that's going to make up 25% of an ounce. And then I'm going to have 21 grams, 7 flakes at approximately 3 grams per flake, 21 grams. So total is going to be a mixture of 1 ounce, 75% Luxury Navy Flake, 25% a combination of the Sutla RC1 515 and the 507S Stowed Virginia. So that is what we're going to do. We'll mix it up. Probably won't smoke any today. got a whole load of the Navy Flake in, 8 ounces, a while back. So we're gonna try. What I do, how I process my flakes, is I kind of what I'll do is I'll take a full flake and I'll just kind of pull it apart this way, and then I put it all together and I tear it in quarters. So I'll tear like a quarter of it off, down to a half, and then down to a 3/4, and then I'll just kind of work it up a little bit. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make us an ounce of this London Fog. That is Virginia Perique Heavy. We're gonna let it hang out for a little while, and we'll see how it turns out. Because I'll tell you, with the Virginia Woods, I've been looking to try to score like a 50-gram tin of Virginia Woods, and that would last me through many batches, many batches of this London Fog. At least the ratios that I enjoy it at. I just like how the red Virginias and the stowed Virginias add just enough, you know, spicy, zesty, earthy. They just add a little bit to all those brights from the luxury Navy Flake. And if it works out, you know, 2 ounces of this red Virginia and 2 ounces of black Virginia from Sutliff is very inexpensive, you know, $2 an ounce. Not going to be quite the same as Virginia Woods, I'm sure. But hey, it's an inexpensive experiment, and if worse comes to worse, I'll just add a bunch more Navy Flake into it, and it'll pretty much be predominantly the luxury Navy Flake, which I like to smoke. So we're getting the Navy Flake all processed up here. You can see it. I'll just shred it up a little bit in long strands. When I break it up, I find that it just packs easier because they're in the long strands are hard to kind of pack. And just give it a smush. And I prefer really not mixing tobaccos. I'm not a big experimenter. I just prefer to smoke what it is, and if it's good, smoke it, and if it's not, move on. But this was a very good combination that Simon put together. So, now we'll throw together our 3.5 ounces. I don't even know if that's 3.5 ounces. Yeah, a little bit. 3.5 ounces. And three and a half ounces. This is all roughly for that. And so, like I said, I don't know how this is going to turn out. The stowed Virginia cut is a really thick ribbon cut, or thick, coarse ribbon cut, so not the consistency that the Virginia Woods was. It all matched up kind of well. It was a good ribbon cut, a little bit of chunky stowed Virginia. But I mean, there's some big pieces. You know, that's what the stowed looks like. The Virginia, or the red cake, is a nice, you know, ribbon cut. But anyway. Alright, well, there is my combination of London Fog. So, got your reds. Everybody knows about RC515 RC1. You got your stoved. And then we've got this concoction of London Fog, which is 75% luxury Navy Flake, and then 25% combination of equal parts red cake from Sutliff and stowed Virginia from Sutliff. So, we'll try this maybe here next week, and we will see how it is, and if we need to add some reds, if we need to add some more blacks, just to kind of give it what it needs, and we'll see if it works. I don't know. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Kind of a disaster of a video. Didn't really know how to film it, where it would be best. I don't have a great setup, but you guys have a good Friday. I guess we'll try to let you know how this turns out. See ya.